Good morning, traders. You're listening to Newsware's Trade Talk. This is your host, Shane Scott. And with me always is Bill Olson, your trading anchor who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. At Trade Talk, we're looking to provide you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. And getting started on our markets update, U.S. futures are mixed this morning with S&P futures up 0.19%, Dow futures up 0.31%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.35%. Alongside mostly future rises, oil has rebounded, and a long-dated treasury yields has advanced after President Joe Biden doubled the goal for his vaccination drive, and the Federal Reserve freed banks from pandemic restrictions on dividends. On the other end, the dollar is sliding for the first time in 4 days. Increases in the derivative market were being led by NASDAQ 100 mini contracts expiring in June, but those have now since turned to losses. Whereas the S&P 500 mini futures suggests gains there have suggested that the U.S. benchmark may erase its second weekly decline. Cruise line operators Royal Caribbean and Carnival Corp rose at least 2.9% in pre-market trading. Over in Europe, stocks rose with all industrial sectors in the Stocks Europe 600 index advancing. Miners, energy, and auto firms benefited from a rotation into cyclical reopening trades. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long, and they're higher. Little volatility this morning. The European stocks experienced a really strong move to the upside this morning, but have pulled back a bit. Later today, we have data coming out on personal income and consumer spending. This information is going to be released 1 hour before the market opens. These reports are going to be key because they're going to be setting the tone for the market direction today. Personal income probably plunged more than 7% in February after the January stimulus checks drove that 10% surge. Spending likely also dropped this month too. I'm looking at various sectors. I'm seeing gains in the banking, oil, and technology. There is a global shortage going on of semiconductors. This is going to be a big focus today. There's several production reasons why this shortage is occurring. And, let's talk about the Biden administration. They're apparently preparing an executive order to require many software vendors to notify their federal government clients when companies have a cybersecurity breach. This is going to be looking at Microsoft, Salesforce, and SolarWinds, but that's what I'm kind of watching this morning, Shane.
Let's go ahead and jump into earnings to watch today. It looks like Progressive did pretty well. Bill, tell us about it.
Well, Progressive did. They beat by 20 cents. That was a good call yesterday. You see their stock appreciation this morning. Science Applications, that's ticker SAIC, Sam, Apple, India, Charlie. We talked about this and we said, something didn't feel right. Now, they did deliver a beat, of 22 cents yesterday afternoon, but it was on lower revenue. When you look at the stock this morning, and it was down $13 when I checked last. Oxford Industries, this is ticker OXM. These guys missed by 8 cents last night, but they did it on higher revenue. The stock's kind of flat, but it was trading up yesterday in the afternoon market. So it's something to watch to see what happens with OXM today.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
Shane, there's nothing coming out this afternoon, but next week I'm looking ahead to, and I see a number of good earnings plays that I'm going to be watching. One is Calmine Foods. That's ticker CALM, Charlie, Apple, Larry, Michael. It's set for a 5% move. Lululemon, that's ticker LULU, Larry Uncle. They're set for a 2% move. And then I'm also looking at McCormick. This is ticker MKC, Michael, Kilo, Charlie. They're set for a 3.5% move. This is a spice maker. Micron Technologies, ticker MU, Michael Under. They're set for a 7% move. And Walgreens Boots Alliance. This is an interesting one. That's ticker WBA, William Boyd Apple. They're set for a 5% move. Now, real quick insights on Lululemon. On January 11th, they came out there and they raised their fourth quarter guidance and said that they had a very strong holiday season. And they also said that the company expects sales and EPS to be at the high end of the previously stated forecast. So that was January 11th. There's been a long time since then. So that's a very interesting play for Lululemon. Let's talk Micron, ticker MU, Michael Lunder. On March 3rd, they came out and they said that they now see their revenue of $6.2 billion to $6.25 billion, which is up from the previous forecast of $5.6 billion to $6 billion. So that's kind of a big increase. The company also expects adjusted profits for the quarter between 93 cents and 98 cents a share, which is up from the previous estimates of 68 to 82 cents. So those are two that I'm watching. I think that's some good insight, and we just got to keep watching these stocks ahead of the earnings announcements.
Well, moving into our economic reports, what do we expect in there, Bill?
8:30 a.m. We have retail inventories. This is an advanced figure, not a huge report, but it is one I'll be watching. And then the two that are bigger reports are the personal income and outlays and international trade in goods advanced figures. These are all due out at 8:30. At 10 a.m. this morning, we have the consumer sentiment figures, and at 1 p.m. this afternoon, the Baker Hughes rig count numbers will be coming out.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Sierra Wireless, ticker SWIR. It has resumed production and started to recover its internal systems following a ransomware attack on its internal IT systems and corporate website, which started on the 23rd. In other news, Plug Power, ticker PLUG, has partnered with Alpine F1 team of Formula One Racing, wherein Plug's logo will be present on Alpine's racing vehicle, as well as that Plug will be exploring for use of hydrogen fuel on the racing vehicle. So Plug's share price is up 0.67% in pre-market. One on Berkshire Hathaway, ticker BRKA. Berkshire has offered to build 10 large natural gas power plants in Texas for $8.3 billion. CEO Chris Brown suggested operating these plants only during electricity emergencies. This comes a month after the state of Texas had to go through the blackouts during a severe cold wave, and Chris Brown suggested that the plants could become operational by November 2023. In other news, BowX acquisition, ticker BOWX, and WeWork agreed to merge in a deal that will list the combined company publicly. The merger would value WeWork at $9 billion. BowX's share price is up 2.57% in pre-market. In other news, Uber, ticker UBER, is planning to reopen its offices in Mission Bay, San Francisco on March 29th at a 20% capacity. Uber share price is up 0.84% in pre-market. One on AeroFarms. AeroFarms is set to go public through a merger with Spring Valley Acquisition. That's ticker SV. The combined companies are valued at $1.2 billion and will trade on NASDAQ under the ticker symbol ARFM. Spring Valley share price is down 0.61% in pre-market. News on Apple. There is a rumor that Apple is considering to launch a rugged watch for extreme sports. Another point to note is that last night, research was shared to have concluded that passive activity data captured by an iPhone and Apple Watch were an accurate predictor of an in-clinic 6MWT performance. The study suggested that frailty and functional capacity could be monitored and evaluated remotely in patients with cardiovascular disease, enabling safe and higher resolution monitoring of patients. Apple's share price is down 0.27% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, one on Yum China, ticker YUMC. Yum has established a supply chain support center through a nearly $28 million investment in Chengdu, China. The support center is expected to be ready for service by mid-2022. Bill, what are you seeing as far as morning news?
You know, Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific sectors and specific events, so I can really see these hot topics that are going to be moving the market during the day. You know, I've been watching my FANG alert all the time, and you know, especially after yesterday with those congressional hearings, you know, lawmakers are really united on reforming that Section 230 of the federal law that gives social media platforms sweeping legal protections, and they're saying this is, you know, changing this law has really become a top priority for both Democrats and Republicans. In the hearing yesterday, when asked if the platforms played a role in the Capitol Hill riot, only Jack Dorsey came out and said yes. I mean, it's true that they did. Is that the only reason? No, but he at least came out there and admitted truthfully. Where the other two CEOs, Zuckerberg and Google CEO, essentially dodged the question. Other news that I'm seeing out there is with the Amazon, their AWS division. They announced the general availability of Amazon's Lookout metrics. Now, this uses machine learning to automate and detect root causes of anomalies in business matrices. So it's kind of interesting to watch. My Dow Jones 30 alert, it hit on Microsoft this morning because they're apparently, still in discussions with Discord, and they're looking to buy them. The deal is said to be valued at about $10 billion. Now, the key here is that it's going to be announced next month. Guess what? Microsoft's earnings are going to be scheduled to be released next month as well. So oftentimes you see these big deals being announced the same day as their earnings. So it's one to watch. Caterpillar, I see Caterpillar's coming out and they're saying that they're seeing shipment delays to some of their clients due to the Suez Canal blockage. In terms of option headlines, Live Nation Entertainment, that's ticker LYV. Larry Yellow Victor. Their 30-day option implied volatility is at 43. Now, you compare that to the 52-week range of 41 to 154, and yeah, it's undervalued. Zillow, that's ticker Z. Their 30-day option implied volatility is at 61, and their 52-week range is 50 to 158. So that's still on the low range. Their call put ratio was 2.2 calls to 1 put yesterday. I also noticed stocks in the airline sector. They're really showing low implied volatility as compared to their 52-week time frame. So you got to keep an eye on shares in the airlines. IFDA alert hit on it multiple times. Pfizer, ticker PFE. Apparently, they started their COVID-19 vaccine testing in young children. AstraZeneca, ticker AZN, Apple Zebra Nancy, they were told that they cannot export any more COVID-19 vaccines from Europe until they make good on the contracts that they have with the European Union. Moderna, that's ticker mRNA, Michael Richard, Nancy Apple. The company is said to be delaying shipments of 500,000 doses of its COVID-19 vaccine that were due to arrive in Canada this weekend. The federal procurement minister said on Thursday that Moderna informed Canadian officials that the delay was due to a backlog in its quality assurance process. And it doesn't sound good. Events that are going on, ticker NBIX, Nancy Boy, India X-Ray, they're having a shareholder meeting today. Now, the stock is going to be added to the S&P Midcap 400 index on March 30th. That's Tuesday. So that's kind of interesting for shares of NBIX. Another company holding its shareholder meeting today is biotech firm TMXP, Tom, Nancy, X-Ray, Paul. And that's what I'm seeing this morning, Shane.
Moving into our trade talk picks for today, I'm picking Micron, ticker MU. Just like we talked about, there's a chip shortage going on, and this is something that can be actually beneficial for Micron. If you can get in under $83, it's a good buy. Earnings are coming out next week. There was a jump yesterday. It's pulling back today, and if you can get in at the right place, it should be able to move stronger towards the close. And of course, this should be running hot into earnings. So Micron's my pick. What's yours looking like, Bill?
Well, I'm going with Lululemon, ticker LULU. I mean, earnings are out Tuesday. Yesterday's option volume was very positive. It got a positive mention by a broker this morning. And the fact that they raised guidance and they mentioned a strong holiday season, it really should help the stock move higher into the earnings announcement. So I'm going with shares of Lululemon today.
Well, moving into what's hot off the press, talking about what's hitting the tape as we speak. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So looking at our newswire alerts, seeing all the headlines that are streaming in, Bill, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Let's take a talk about L Brands. That's ticker LB, Larry Boy. L Brands is up 5% to 62.60 after raising their Q1 EPS guidance.
One on NIO, ticker NIO. NEO has fallen over 7.5% to $35.04 after suspending output due to parts shortage.
Ticker GHSI, Grace, Harold, Sam, India. This is Guardian Health Systems. They just announced a 1-for-6 reverse stock split effective March 1. Here's one for Deutsche Bank, ticker DB. Their CEO came out and he said to be considering relinquishing his investment banking oversight position. Here's one on Corning. That's ticker GLW, Grace, Larry, William. They're going to be boosting their production to make sure that they have enough virals, the glass virals where the COVID vaccine comes in. And they're going to be boosting production of these virals for this year and next year.
One on JMP, ticker JMP. The company just appointed Mark Lemon as president.
Johnson & Johnson, ticker JNJ, John, Nancy, John. Their Janssen division received a positive opinion from the European Health Agency for one of their treatment drugs.
There's a rumor on American Air, ticker AAL. American Air has received contract provision relief from its pilots union. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing.
Same here. So traders, that'll do it for us as far as what's hot off the press. But keep in mind, you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Thursday. I had Royal Phillips, ticker PHG. It opened at $56.64. We did say hold into 10 a.m. on this one to see if we can get a better price. And it did hit. We got to go down to $56.40. And from there, it had a steady rise all the way up to $57.11 for a 1.25% gain. So pretty good for us. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
Well, I did Progressive Software yesterday, PRGS, Paul, Richard, Gray, Sam. This is an earnings play. Stock opened up at 41.88 and it closed at 41.80. But when the earnings came out, they were solid, and they even did a guidance raise. So you saw the stock react, and it traded as high as 44.28. Which is a gain of $2.40 and essentially a 5.7% difference. So there's definitely the opportunity to make 1% on that trade. So yeah, that was a good pick yesterday. It was a nice gain all around.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.